annual Women's History Show. This is great. I actually did stand up for the first time at the last Women's History Show, so this is kind of my reprise today. But yeah, last year's set was all about how I was turning 19, yet not really feeling like I was living up to the title of Nasty 19. And this year, today actually, I am turning 20. Thank you. And we've really done a full 180. Because this year, there's almost a little too much action going on. These gentlemen are just absolutely breaking down my door. Almost have to ward them away like stray cats, shoo them away. But yeah, because of this, I've just been learning all these very unsettling things about men, though, and it's hard to kind of unlearn them. Like, one example is, it's chilling to even think about, really. None of them put on lotion. Yeah, right? And, not even a drop. These boys are just dry as a bone. It's crazy. Another thing that's kind of haunting me is those few seconds between when they're talking to you and they're about to kiss you. Yeah. It's just you see this. You see this ominous sort of shift in their and every muscle in their face just drops to this deadpan kind of look. And before you even can process what's going on, they're leaning in all of a sudden. Yeah. So, just kind of the make-out face of my personal nightmares. But yeah, I've started to keep kind of a notes app situation to write down all these findings. And it's kind of like a scientific research log meets like a nature documentary. So the entries kind of go something like this. January 3rd. Visited subject in natural habitat. Subject seems joyful at my arrival. No signs of lotion or soap to be found. End of entry. Oh, where am I going? Guys, I have to consult my hand. Okay. Wait, we got lotion, we got tap. Oh yeah, so the sort of danger that comes along with keeping a notes app situation like this is that if one singular man, gets a hold of my cellular device, they will have access to basically government level secrets. Yeah. All they really have to do is search up the first 3 letters of their name into my notes app, and they will find a detailed pros and cons list. Yeah. And it's ruthless too. It lays all the flaws right out. There actually is one very specific pros and cons list that I really should burn before anyone finds it, but it's a list that compares the pros and cons of 2 gentlemen callers that I was in dealings with. So if you sort of see the picture that I'm painting here, that's 4 columns, like boy number 1, pros, cons. Boy number 2, pros, cons. and they sort of come down together in a bit of a Venn diagram sort of fashion. It's very thorough, but yeah. The worst part about it is that one of the guys on the list just had so many more cons than the other. Like an overwhelming amount of cons. Like, I'm talking about cons that are all the way off the page, like quite a few cons. And naturally, like as these things go, he was the one that I kind of ended up going with. So, yeah, kind of doomed from the start on that one. But also, there are boys in this crowd that are gonna think this is all about them, and I just want to tell you, trust me, it's not about you. Or is it? Yeah, you'll never know, so I'll just let that fester for a while. But moving on, something that I absolutely love about this year is that I'm living in a suite filled with women. Yeah, those are my little sweet ladies. And there's just so much love that comes along with it. It's just all very heartwarming. Though there is loose hair on every square inch of our floor, which is kind of a little bit less heartwarming. Another thing is that we all live in such close quarters all together that our periods have actually all synced up. Yeah, it's not a myth, by the way. Wow, I just watched every man's jaw drop into that information. Sorry to be the one to break it to you. You guys had to find out at some point. But yeah, there is one very specific week in our suite where I'll be sitting on the toilet, like hanging as we do. And I look to the left and I start to notice that the trash can is overflowing with pad wrappers and tampon applicators. And suddenly a cold chill rushes down my spine. And I realize we've just entered Shark Week. Yeah, and there's blood in the water, all right. But yeah, it does get crazy. It gets a little dark in our suite sometimes there. But yeah, another thing that I realized is that any man that crosses any of the ladies in our suite automatically becomes public enemy number one. Like, there are nights where we'll come home and just be dishing all about how horrible some boy is acting, you know? And the next day, when he comes over to the suite, well, after he's served his penance, of course, and he doesn't go unnoticed, yeah, he just is kind of so vulnerable. It's almost like those wilderness documentaries where a little tiny baby gazelle accidentally wanders into a lion's den, and you're just like, oh wow, I feel so bad for you, yet there's no one to blame but you in this situation. Yeah. But my last bit of knowledge that I want to impart upon you on this historical day is, you know, just put a lock on your notes app. Or make it simpler for everyone and switch on over to lesbianism. It'll just be easier. But that is my set. Thank you so much.